All right. Problem 5-9. Antonio's function machine is shown at right. So we've got, this is Antonio's function machine. It's looking pretty sharp over here. This is Antonio's. It says, what is the function a of 2? So in other words, when we drop 2 as the input into the function, what are we going to get out? Well, the function we're starting out with here is a of x equals 3 to the power of x. So we said the function a of x equals 3 to the power of x. So I'm going to take it here. We're going to put 2 in. So the function a of 2 is going to equal 3 to the second power. Well, 3 to the second power we know is 9. So what is the function a of 2, or when we put in 2, what is the output? We know a of 2 equals 9. So that is letter A. Letter B says if 81 came out, what was dropped in? So let's think about that. We have 81. If 81 comes out, they want to know what was dropped into the function. So we can replace our a of x, because that's going to represent our output here, with 81. 81 is equal to 3 to the power of what? Now remember, 81 and 3 have a special relationship here. If we take 81 and we look at its factorization here, 81 is the same thing as 3 times 27. Remember, 3 is prime. We take 27 and break it into 3 times 9, and then 9 breaks into 3 times 3, which tells us here that 81 is equal to 3 to the 4th power. So let's rewrite this here as 3 to the 4th power is equal to 3 to the power of x. So what does x have to be in order for our 3 to the x to equal 81? Well, obviously it's going to have to be a 4. So we get there for letter B that x, our input, has to be 4. Letter C. If 8 came out, what was dropped in? Be accurate to 2 decimal places. Okay, this is a skill that we have not yet learned. This is what we're going to be getting into here in Chapter 5. But we can still try to figure it out a little bit using what we know about these different numbers and doing a little bit of guessing and checking. So let's talk about the number 3. If we take 3 and we raise it to the power of 0, we get 1. If we take 3 and we raise it to the 1st power, we get 3. If we take 3 and we raise it to the 2nd power, we get 9. We're looking for what power can we raise 3 to, well, to get 8 out. So if I wanted to end up with 8 here, then I know I'm going to be raising 3 to a power that ends up being between 1 and 2. And which one would it be closer to? Do you think it's closer to 3 squared or 3 to the 1st? Well, 8's closer to 9, so chances are it's going to be closer to 3 to the 2nd power. So we can try some different values here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my calculator here, and we can kind of do a little bit of guessing and checking. It says that it wants us to know to 2 decimal places. So let's think here. So we said 3 to the 1st power, we said was 3. We said 3 to the 2nd power was 9. So let's try a decimal value between 1 and 2. Let's try a decimal value between 1 and 2. So let's think about it. We've got 3 to the 1st. We had 3 to the 2nd there. So we want something that's a little bit closer over here. So let's think about the decimal values between 1 and 2 that are closer to 2. How about, let's just start about, let's say 1.7. That's a good place to start. Let's see how far away from 8 or 9 we actually are. So 3 to the power of 1.7, we get 6.47. So I think we could get a little bit closer. Let's try 3 to the power of 1.8. We get 7.22. So let's jot a couple of these down here. We said 3 to the power of 1.7 was about 6.47. We said 3 to the power of, 1.8 was about 7.22. Well, as we're getting closer, let's do 3 to the power of 1.9. There we get 8.06. So right now, 3 to the power of 1.9, we can even say that's 1.90 right now, is going to equal 8.06. So that's pretty close there, 3 to the power of 1.9. I like that there. Let's actually go back one. Let's go back 1/100th here to see how close we are. Let's do 3 to the power of 1.89. See what that does for us. So that one we get 7.97. Let's see, 3 to the 1.89 gave us 7.97. Actually, it almost round to 7.98 almost there, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So what is closer to 8? Is it 1.89 or 1.90 as our exponent? Well, this one's only 2/100ths off. This one's about 6/100ths, so we're going to say it's probably going to be around 1.89. So it says if 8 came out, what was dropped in, to be accurate to 2 decimal places, that should have been approximately, let's do that because we don't have the exact answer, 1.89. So we take that, we raise 3 to the power of 1.89 in there, we get out there 7.98. So it's very, very close to what we're looking for 8 there. So that is the answer for C. We had to do a little bit of guessing and checking there, but that's all right. We're going to learn how to do this without having to guess and check here as we move through this chapter. So once again, this is problem 5-9. We've got the first one for letter A. We have A of 2 equals 9. B, if 81 came out, what was our input? That was 4. And for letter C, they said what was the input to get an output pretty close to 8? That should have been about 1.89. All right, this is Mr. Boyd. If you have questions, make sure you ask your teacher, go to math help, ask a friend, do something there. It's not acceptable, though, just to, say, I don't get it and move on. Don't be a quitter. Stay at it. Have a good night.